Hello, my name is Southgate. I'm the conservation engineer for the restoration of Dunboy. And I'm going to tell you 3 stories about Dunboy. This is a topping out ceremony, and the last topping out ceremony that I went to was in about 1978. There was a tradition in the building industry that when you finished the structure of a building, when the last bit of concrete was poured, you celebrated it on an occasion like this. But in modern times, construction has become so fast, there was never a defined finish of a building project. But we felt that there was something to celebrate today in the finalization or the finishing of the conservation work of this magnificent building which is worthy of celebration. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you 3 stories about Dunboy. 2 of them are very, very quick to tell, and the stories will tell them better. The first story is a Republican story about the Dunboy plan. 140 of them fighting off, 140 of the faithful fighting off 4,000 British in 1602 at the end of the Elizabethan War. And that all happened down in the old castle at the end of the peninsula. The second story is one of the ascendancy when Huxley, the famous copper magnate, developed this castle as a private residence for himself and his wife in about 1875. Already the old part of the castle, which included a false tower, which you see as you come in, and the Georgian part is already here. But he planned this wonderful Scottish baronial building in order to celebrate his wealth. Of course, he had the false medieval tower to give the impression that the family had been here since the dawn, but it was part of the Victorian fashion. He fell out with the builder over a claim for extras, which went to court, and basically the sum at the time was about £30,000, which is an enormous amount of money. And the story goes that builder won. And the reason that builder won was because the plans for the castle bore absolutely no relation to the contract drawing. And one of the reasons that I think that was because Huxley was on the board of St Finbarr's Cathedral. And St Finbarr's Cathedral was being built by a completely mad architect called William Burgess. William Burgess was well known for his extravagance, and he had given the board of St Finbarr's Cathedral in Cork City a budget of £15,000 to build a building, and it eventually ended up at £100,000. He was a complete enthusiast. He attended the site in medieval costume, and I think that some of his influence must have sort of rubbed off on this great hall design, which is the most magnificent entrance to a building that I can think of. And it is probably supposed to be influenced by Burgess. Anyway, that's part of the second story of Dunboy. But the third story of Dunboy, which is really what I want to tell you, started about 5 years ago when Colin Powell, Donald Kelly, Michael Harrington, Ned Murphy, and Carl Dillon, all of Castletownbere, approached me to come have a look at a ruined Dunboy castle. And at that time, they wanted to know whether I'd be interested in getting them a planning permission for a hotel project. I looked at it and I said, if you're interested in restoring the building, I'm with you. But I said, I'm not going to get you a planning permission for this project because we haven't got the expertise to do it. What we need is an end user, a hotel operator, and we need some more energy. So I gave a couple of scheme ideas, and we met the planning authority to see what they would think about this. And their first approach was, I can't remember exact wording, but I can put it in my own words. You don't have a cat in hell's chance of even getting a domestic resident on the site at the first meeting. And I explained to them that the condition of the building was severe. That basically the building would have to be closed, that it was a danger to the public. And there was a Scotch pine tree growing out of the top of the walls of this atrium, approximately 15 or 20 foot high, above the top of the wall. And this was a kind of project that really hadn't been taken on before, and that it would need a lot of wealth and an important end use to carry it on. There was also an opinion, to put in Jeremy Williams's words, that there was a risk of ruining the ruin, and we wanted to try and avoid that. But there was a certain viewpoint that, in fact, to do nothing with the building would be the best conservation result. But anyway, after a number of discussions with the planners, they eventually moved towards the idea of a hotel-type development as the best use that would support